And that's basically how it was.
Okay.
Everyone was, so like, I was in the back.
I would love to
like
be
Hello,
a
everyone.
like character for someone. Oh my gosh. Oh.
Okay, we're gonna start now. Welcome to the September 30th quarterly meet. We will start off, I guess best way to start off is kind of introductions. I'll start off with my introduction because who am I? I'm Palm, also known as Chris Marcellus. I am the latest admin, and it's been requested that I do a kind of acceptance speech by Riddles on the submissions form. So I guess really just sort of like as an acceptance speech, it's more along the lines of having like so far been like what has been like a couple weeks or so just in it. I've kind of gotten the feel for it. I basically see what's going on, and I see some important things that kind of I'm hoping to bring to this. One of which just clarity in general. And then the other one, just kind of simplifying it and just making it just kind of like adhering to those values. Simplification, clarity, kind of help a lot in sort of that sense. Thank you guys for, this is basically just sort of like, I see it as like a job that needs to be done. And you know, basically the process, the election process, I see kind of like as a bit of a job interview where all of you guys are sort of reviewing my application in that sense. So in that way, thank you guys for allowing me to accept sort of the position of adminship. And short, simple, sweet little acceptance speech. So. So we're going to start off. We're mainly here to go through and get a general idea, get a general consensus of what we want for the next couple of months, what we want for our meets to be, free meets and paid meets. Our next quarterly meet is actually going to be in November. The reason for this is because it's only 2 months away. We sort of had an alignment, kind of like an alignment system where we held the quarterlies before like a season would start, and we're hoping to get back to that normal schedule. The reason why it helps a lot with doing it by sort of seasons is so that we can actually like plan specifically, like for this winter we can plan events specifically for winter, and then we can plan things for spring and then summer and so on. So that's just, so basically we're planning meets. Just how far in advance, till what month would you say? Probably
so we have October's done already.
Mm-hmm.
So we're probably
gonna do just November and December.
Yeah, let's just do November and December. That way, since we're having a quarterly in November again, kind of to reset the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Then we only have, then we're not planned 2 quarterlies in advance.
Right. But let's just start from the beginning and do introductions. Let's see. I am Palm the Third. My character is a Puma Dragon hybrid. You maybe have seen pictures of it a lot. Oh, hi.
Wow, late.
And I don't know. Just kind of. Let's see. Do we want what interesting?
Which? Oh man, I had something for this earlier.
Did you?
I did actually. And then I went and played D&D and got my ass kicked, and now I don't remember anything.
I always get my ass.
Oh, it was bad.
I saw your Always Sunny in Philadelphia thing about that.
Do you have a suggestion?
Oh no, I was just saying write it down.
Write it now.
Yeah, eventually, someday.
We'll do
Probably
that.
not.
I should get away.
What person do you write in?
What person do I write in?
Yeah.
Like first
or
third?
third, or second if you're evil and want to confuse everybody.
What?
What?
Would you like to give an example of what this is?
Second person writing is when you've got a character narrating another character's
Oh,
actions.
I see what you're saying. Wow.
Like Stanley Parable.
Yeah, that was deep.
Okay, yeah, it took me. I was like, what? Okay.
Second person pronoun is you.
Usually when let's see. I actually prefer.
Objective, like actual, like overhead.
So for writing, I would probably have to say I prefer.
I've never done it in second
I prefer actually third person. I prefer third person omnipotence.
Term that's gone
Yep.
into a lot of sacred-
And just kind of like knowing what everyone thinks, but you're sort of what like the narrator is on the outside of it. I kind of really like that style. The third person limited can be really fun for like twists and turns and plot twists and stuff like that. All right. So that's who I am, Palm the Third. Where do you want to go? Yeah, let's go this. Yeah, good idea. Good idea.
Hi, I'm Tatsu. Nobody's gonna do the joke. Okay. Hey. I'm a kitsune. My writing style does typically go third omnipotent, similar to Palm's. But occasionally, if I've got a character by themselves, I will do first person. And I will literally just change that, and they'll be like that for a whole chapter until we get more people in the fray.
Oaken, Fox, writing style. I haven't really thought about this. I guess first person.
Jazzy, Kaiji Corgi Zilberman, and for writing style, I would say first person.
Chris, I've got two different personas depending on what we're doing. So it's either Shirkan the Tiger or Mott the Gambian Rat. And when I end up writing, it's generally instructional manuals.
You're evil.
Or he's the best person in the world. Depends on the instruction manual.
Yeah.
So what's your opinions on the ethics of writing instructional manuals?
Needs to get done.
Pictures or no pictures?
Generally, what I end up, well, I've done both.
Okay.
Honestly, I prefer. Well, it depends on what you're trying to get across. If it's something sweet and simple like 4 steps, hopefully you can do it without pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the extreme opposite, which is the IKEA, where it's so perfectly done without words,
Yes.
I have two. I've got to say those I love.
Hi, I work at IKEA.
Oh.
Tethri Say, Hungarian Rekka Ram, and I'd have to say first person
I'd say as long as you
goes to third person.
Okay. I'm down.
Hello, I'm Kaorin, or you can call me Ko. I'm a lion fox, and writing style, I like omnipotent into first person. Okay, I'm Prue. I am a Brahmin Highlander cow hybrid. I first started writing in third person, and I have now ventured into first.
Hey, I'm Klein, or call me Louis, anything. First off, what was first person and third person?
First person is when it's when you read something and it says, and when it's like talking about yourself, it's like I went to the store, as opposed to third person is Palm went to the store.
Oh, okay. Well, I prefer first person, so
Yeah.
I don't get confused.
Mm-hmm.
Hi there. I also have 2 sonas. I have the Tiger Dragon Cane, and I also have the one that I don't use very often, which is the Vulture Griffin Ozzy. As far as writing style, are you referring to like when you write about your sona, or just when you write in general?
In general.
I don't know. I've written a lot of stuff. I've written fantasy. I've written poetry. I've written horror. I because of that, I jump all over the place. I jump between third person, first person, poetic prose. I just write whatever I feel like writing.
What was your name?
So real name Tyler.
Okay.
Furry name's Ozzy or Kane.
Okay.
Kane's the main one.
I'm Spaz. I have multiple characters, but my main one is a bug dragon, and basically what he said about writing.
Call me Z. My persona is a snow leopard, or at times a jaguar, or at times a black leopard, or at times any kind of fucking feline I damn well please. As for writing,
A ditto.
changeling actually, but if we want to get specific. Honestly, for writing and everything, I'm mostly a poet, but when I write notes, it's generally stream of consciousness arguing with myself. When I write stories, it's third person limited, so I can actually frame a shot.
Yeah.
You can read it.
Ligris, Moth, I'd say third person.
Swing in?
Nothing want to do with it.
Sorry.
I'll be a furry.
Come join us, we have cookies and tails.
Well, we got a tail, but no cookies. Wait.
Well, we brought cookies.
We were
Better
buying
not. That was one of the
cookies.
rules. Don't bring food in here.
Oh.
That would make sense in a
Well, then I'll
library.
throw myself out.
Anyway,
Joke.
did you finish introducing?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Shining River. I'm looking forward to reading what some of you have written. I've had a number of essays published on adjective species. I've written about poetry. Had a couple articles on Broadcast about Furry Poetry Month and Furry Women's Month. And so my writing style is basically essays, objective, third person.
I guess I'm Raj, a raccoon, and I guess first person, right? I don't write much. I listen to audiobooks.
Clivey or Devin, either or. When I tend to do writing, usually first person. It all depends on the scenario and the scene I'm trying to set. Haven't written. I don't write too much more anymore. I used to.
Mitchell or Marius, characters of Bull Dragon. I think I primarily write third person about Marius, just because for me personally, Marius isn't really who I am. He's a character, so I write him as if I were somebody looking into a different world, sort of thing. So.
I'm Gray. Real name is Emery. This is Pip. He's my new friend. I
Oh
don't
my
really
gosh,
write
I
much.
need your friend.
What? Oh, I'm sure he'd like to meet you. I don't really know what his writing style is.
What species is that?
It's a garter snake.
That's what it looked like from here. I just wasn't sure.
I was about to say, it's like, for those of you not in the room currently, she's currently holding a snake. That is Pip.
Yeah.
Pip says
Silent.
And that's all.
Pip
I don't
says
really
Pip is
write
the
much.
best
I guess
one.
third person if I had to.
I'm Nova Nocturne from Ringtail, and my writing style is long-winded.
And I just realized it's like the writing style actually I do is more towards scripts than like play scripts.
That makes
than
sense.
Than like a narrative necessarily.
Mine
Theater.
evolved from that.
As if I'm.
Hi, I'm Tom. I'm a theater nerd.
Theater nerd, honey.
All right.
All right. So I guess we'll go on to sort of the next topic. Let's see. Yeah, we'll go on to just sort of the next topic we're going to mention. We're getting a new sort of like Facebook page piece. What this Facebook page is, some of you might have seen it. It's more of one where you like it. This is more to give kind of U2F2 a public image. We're also hoping to use it to make to increase the invite cap, because Facebook has a problem where you'll try to invite people, and if it's your first time doing it, you can invite up to 500 friends or something like that. But the next time you make an event, you can only do like 50. This is because it bases it off of how many people decide to go to your event, or how many, like the event that you created, or how many say they're not going, or how many just don't respond at all. And Facebook kind of has this weird algorithm of, hey, a lot of people decided not to go to your event. We're gonna limit your event. We're gonna limit your invites.
You can't have more friends.
Right, right. I did a little bit of research on this, and it's like there's a couple reasons why Facebook does this. It's either what Facebook claims is it's because they don't want people to do spam events or just like spam a whole bunch of events. But in reality, what it probably is they really want to push towards their marketing, their sort of like way to market your event, which costs money. So it's probably one of those two. So with that, we're hoping to. Okay. With that, we're hoping to create this sort of Facebook page as a way to get as a way to maybe invite more people. Again, if either of you want to elaborate more on this, because you've been planning this before, I've been admin, so and then it's basically and also it'll provide sort of public links, and you were talking about sort of ways to gain like people could gain exposure via this page.
Yeah, since our current Facebook group is hidden and you have to be approved to get in, if we share a link with someone and they're not in the Facebook group, they can't see the event.
Right.
So it requires you to be in the group, and
I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of furries, when they're coming into the community, are trying to find their place and everything, and getting on Facebook is not an option for everybody either. So if we have a public place where people can see what our events are, then it's all the better.
All right. And so again, this is sort of devoted. This is mainly devoted to giving us more of a public, sort of like a public face. And with that, kind of merging into the next topic, on this Facebook page, we're going to have something called Spotlights, which basically we take a member of the community and we give them, we interview them, and basically do kind of like an article on them.
Mm-hmm.
And this was again your idea, Oaken.
Mm-hmm.
So
the premise of it was at BLFC, I actually went to a panel on social anxiety, trying to better understand why and how furries are and how they operate in tech and things. And one of the things that I spoke with the panelist about was ways to help people feel more included, more easily accessible into like a community like ours. And one of the things that they thought of was just give them a reason to have something to grab onto with someone. So if they know, say, our first person that we're going to interview currently is Barnaby. If they know Barnaby, it's a lot easier to approach someone when you know some things about them when they're just a complete stranger. So with this sort of thing, we feel like it's going to help make our group even that much more welcoming than it already is.
So just out of curiosity, I know that we internally had talked about who we were thinking about to go through first as a first example, but has anybody told Barnaby that we're planning?
I've talked to him about it.
Okay. It's just like, oh, we just name dropped.
And so we don't have we don't have every detail figured out about this yet. Like, for instance, how often we're going to do this. We kind of got an idea as to maybe how often we want to do this. And, and then also just, I guess, like, figuring out who we want it to be. We're kind of, like, figuring out how we decide who the next person would be in that regard. So, Spotlight, work in progress right now, but something that'll be coming to the new Facebook page, which is also a work in progress. So, next topic I have on the list, and something that's been kind of...
One thing we can add to that, too, with the Facebook page.
Yeah.
I think we're going to move towards getting a new logo and graphics for the group.
Yeah.
With that change, too. So, we're currently seeking out artists to do that work for us. And so, hopefully, we'll have that done here pretty soon.
Yep, so we're looking for artists to make the the icon and the banner of the page. All right, and so that was one thing I didn't put down. But okay.
Okay.
Next one. So next topic we're going to talk about, and this was a concern. This was a concern that was brought to us via the submissions page. Was in regards to in regards to minors and their inclusion in the group. We have done some research on this in terms of exact laws for how minors can kind of like be in the group, and and sort of again, this is another topic where you kind of, or Oaken did a lot of the research for it, and just sort of like what, and so legally, if we bring minors to a group and without sort of consent from parents, it's sort of a sticky situation of if something were to happen, that kind of thing falls on us, like us as the groups and as admins, and we could potentially get into a lot of trouble if something like serious were to happen. This is, and the concern, I guess, that was brought to us was more, they feel that minors are kind of being ignored in the situation. On the page, I don't know how, I would say from what I've seen, it feels like we try to respect pretty much everyone regardless of age. A lot of times we don't even know what age they are unless they say so. But like on the page itself, it's only just like it's only really like in person and going to events that it just becomes an issue. It's a legality issue is really what it is. So pretty much, and so basically, do you have any sort of like extent of like, do you have any sort of like anything like put in regards to like the laws themselves?
I mean, it's pretty clear cut, as you said.
Yeah.
If something happens, we're legally held liable.
Right.
One thing that we may want to consider doing is having readily available consent forms at our meets, and that's just information I got from Meetup itself.
Yeah.
That's actually what they recommend for their meets. And on the Meetup website as well, to be on there, you have to be 18 or older because Meetup doesn't want to be held legally liable either.
Right.
I'm not sure how Facebook handles this because obviously they could get in trouble too for providing the space to post the event. But overall, there's not really a whole lot we can do as far as the event goes.
Okay.
One issue with having consent forms, say that a kid could bring, is that you
They can fake it,
forge that.
yeah.
You can fake it. So
That is true, but in that sense, does that put the responsibility on us if they were the ones who forged it still?
I'm not sure.
That is very light.
Right.
Oh, okay, so you were pointing at me. I thought you were, okay. Honestly, that's a concern that should be brought up, that yes, it could be forged and everything, but that does kind of push the issue to them now on a forgery, which in its own right is throwing a lot of legal turmoil onto their own court.
Right, and that's
I
kind of
wouldn't
what I
want to get a minor in trouble by doing that either. Say if their parents caught them, I don't want to encourage that.
Right.
So.
Well, and that's the thing is that we could say it's like if you forge the signature, then that's on you. We will say that out front and be like, if you forge the signature, that basically takes the ball out of our court and completely puts it in your court.
If it even says that on the form itself, that right there, let's put it on the form that if you forge this, it's on you. Then
Right.
leave it, boom, right there.
And then
Sorry.
yeah.
It's how
I'll go back to you.
Simple thing, I've seen a lot of other groups, like when I was in California and stuff, like a lot of the time they skip the whole like form thing and they just went and said, because I know the whole legality thing, you don't want it to fall on you because it can just be a big whole mess, is to have just a parent, like as awkward as it is to have a parent with the person at the group.
And that's our current policy.
Yeah, and so that's the current policy is to have a parent at the group. But it's like I understand how there's just times where it's like and it's like when you're that age, you don't want to tell your parents, hey, you don't want to tell your parents you're a furry, whether it's just.
I still don't want to tell my parents.
Right. I mean. But.
So the thing is, if you do put it on, two things. One, building off the if it on a form there, we would have to talk about the legalities of writing it out as a legal document.
Because it would essentially be a legal document.
Secondly, did you not make it wrong? Secondly, building off the parent thing, that works. And at the same time, it's speaking from the point of developmental relationships, so it's
kind of a side effect of the parent thing. It gives the parents more of a
see. Yeah, I see what you're going. So maybe sort of like a situation of, let me just say, maybe more of like a situation of instead of having like maybe giving a situation where they come like the minor comes to us and says, it's like I would really like to go to the events, and I know I have to have a parent there with me, but I'm kind of scared to tell my parent. Could you help me do that?
That would also encourage that on that same thing. Further on that end, I suppose it has to be a adult that they trust to come, right? So,
Parent or guardian is what it is.
Because I'm like,
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I actually brought my mom. I'm not sure if any of you guys were there. It was at the Capitals meet like a long time ago. Yeah, I brought my mom there because my mom was like, at first with the whole furry thing, she was like, I've heard some stuff, man. And I was like, Mom, it's not like that. And it was more of the financial side of my dad, but it's like, you're not going to buy $1,000 costume.
And then guess what?
Right, let me spend $2,500. But like, so I brought my mom to that one. And she sat there, and at first she's kind of like, this is weird, I don't know anybody, but I think anyone would be like that. And then after or during the meet, she's like, this is not even what I thought or what it's gonna be. She's like, you guys are just people wanting to hang out, And then after that, she literally was like, if you want to go to the meets, you're more than welcome to. She even talked to a few of you guys, probably not you guys here maybe. But she's all like, yeah, they're really sweet people. And then after that, my mom's like, she's like almost a whole furry now. She wants to go to a woo and everything. So,
We've corrupted another.
Success.
But yeah, and
man, just open their mouths.
yeah. So, but it's like again, I guess it's like if you need help, if you need help telling your parents, it's like talk to me, talk to anyone. It's like I can charm anyone's parents. I have done that. I have like that doesn't not in a weird way. Thank you.
He works for IKEA. He's gotta have some charming skills.
Right. Yeah. Yes, I work for IKEA. I'm very good at this.
Hi, welcome to IKEA.
Hello. Let me tell you about our storage systems. Anyway.
You can put your fursuit in this one. Fursuit? What's that? Well, why don't I tell you?
Okay, well, just a quick side story. There was a time I was at IKEA and I was working in the department, and in one of our vignettes, I see somebody had taken a piece of one of our papers and drew like I think it was a wolf or a wolf or a dog, and put fursuit construction zone on it. And I was the one that found it. And I was like, this makes my day. I was like, so if you did that, was that you? Oh my
gosh! I'm a weirdo, okay?
I'm sorry, have you looked around?
So we've got one thing from the
That's
chat.
amazing.
Mystic Charizard said they had their dad completely accept them being a furry and take them to Anthrocon twice at this point. I can help anyone's parents feel comfortable about the fandom and such from a father's testimonial.
Oh, way to go, Mystic Charizard.
Maybe that could be something we can add to the face page. Like
parents?
Representatives.
Yeah,
to be like,
I see. Yeah,
if
that's
you're,
it. And
if you're unfamiliar with this, you're uncomfortable with this, let us talk to you. Like somewhere they can come.
So I just want to go ahead and mention on that. That's been suggested a lot of times, and if people are willing to step up, that is fantastic.
Well, that's the thing.
So
I volunteer as tribute.
We should start actually bringing that up as a talking point to see if we can get ambassadors.
Yeah. Sort of get ambassadors, people who are fairly certain would be able to provide it in a good light.
Tatsu, with that, do you know, just random thought, do you know if there's ever been like a meet to try and for parents?
Nope.
No?
Never.
Maybe something like that where we get out and say, hey, we have a thing where bring your parents and so that you can see. I don't know if that's way too big, way too much of a goal.
I mean,
but
I'll be super blunt. It's out of my comfort zone, but I have problems with parents anyway, so that's not my call.
So you don't want to be the ambassador.
Absolutely
but
not.
If other people can,
I could do that.
I think that'd be a great neat idea.
Well, we've got a lot of people who
PTA furries.
Parent Furry Association.
Parent PFA.
We just like rent a gymnasium and we're all at booths and teachers come
Good. There's brownies, brownies and cookies.
We'll just take all the parents to the trampoline down there.
Anyway, all right. So okay, so that
That joke have been locked
yeah.
up.
Do you want to mention the group that was it? The minor group that was started?
Oh, yeah. So one thing.
I can't remember who started.
It was Avery, or also known as Logan. She started she started basically in the if you read. Okay. If you've read the when I was doing the election, if you read through the questions process, one of the questions that I answered was regards to a minor question, and my solution just for at the time was I posted a link to a group for those who are 18 18 or younger, and it was started by Avery. She says it's kind of just sort of it's more like a work in process. They don't really have a lot. They don't have a lot to contribute just yet. But I feel it's still worth mentioning. It's still worth mentioning just kind of an area where if you want. If you're interested, if you have like ideas, if you're under the age of 18, if you have ideas and like you want to do meets or something like that, I would talk to Avery and see if maybe you can potentially plan something like that, and just just have her allow you to post an event that for 18 or younger. It would have to be only be 18 or younger. But yeah.
So I guess we'll be seeing a revision of the rules and all that we need to read and reply as read.
I don't know.
I don't know if there's really any change.
It's still basically we're just kind of it's more like we're not like changing the rules necessarily. It's more like we're providing solutions.
Oh, okay.
We're just providing ways to help get around this rule that is not
Especially
going
because
to change.
minors get brought up a lot just because they want to participate, but
Right.
It's the nature of
It's sad. It's like we really want them to participate, but it's like
Maybe not
it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Just wait a couple years. Just wait a couple years. It'll be great.
You're fuzzing out the mic. Don't bang on the table.
Sorry. Sorry, I'm expressive.
And this is more just a nitpicking thing, but
Yeah.
maybe saying get around the rules, not such a great way to phrase it. Maybe more just kind of help facilitate the rules so people can still join.
Well, it's not even so much getting around the rules or facilitating. It's we are providing a solution to help people interact.
Yeah.
We are providing venues for this here.
Mm-hmm.
It's and that's kind of how that whole thing happened. We provide ways to help other people instead of trying to bar people off.
Right. Okay. So, and is that?
So I think, as you two F2 admins, if the minors wanted to get into that group and make it a more formal, organized group, we would encourage that and support them and help them organize their group that way too.
Right.
So it takes some people that are motivated and are willing to put some work forward.
Yeah, just takes a little motivation. All right. So have we covered that topic sufficiently? You think?
Anybody else?
Does anybody have any questions in the chat or not on minors interacting with the group?
Anybody?
Tell them to bring their iron.
Cool.
Thank you.
Someone got it.
Oh.
Well, okay. I suppose if they're coming from Price, it's cold. But
I've been up since 7 p.m. yesterday. It took me a minute.
Oh gosh.
You're talking to a woman who writes poetry and plays. For criminity's sake, I live by and die by puns. I've created entire. I've gotten slammed with a lot of caffeine one day, and I created an entire race that was basically a string of puns that I got out of control.
Share it on the group. I want to see this.
No.
All right. Should we continue? Does anyone on Discord
So far, I'm just replying to somebody who wasn't here for the discussion about the permission form thing.
Oh, okay.
The only other thing that we have is, do we have a concrete plan? Which, no, it's still kind of a suggestion thing.
Right.
And there'll be something coming of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
A lot of it's like a lot of the stuff that we're like these mentions that we're talking about are work in progress. We were kind of like going through the things that we're working on currently, and status a little bit. Okay. And so now that we've gotten through, that's pretty much. Yeah. Are there any last minute topics?
We have a question about the Facebook page thing from Omega.
Okay. Oh, it's coming.
A lot of people use it.
Yeah, we gotta wait for it to print out. With the dot matrix to.
Just hop in, join the voice channel.
Okay. He's been going.
Yeah.
I've kind of been out of the
should we
loop for a
just
while. Is there
come
like
back?
a Utah for Discord here?
Sorry,
Yes.
what?
Yeah.
Is there like a Utah for Discord?
That's what we're in right now.
Yeah.
Okay, can someone like
Meetup.
for hell's sake, I'm gonna like write my thing down, hand the piece of paper over to someone, and shoot me an invite for heaven's sake. I've been out of the loop for how long again?
So on that, I don't know what particular post is pinned on the furry group. What might be beneficial, as we're trying to get more creative, more communication involved, is to put a pinned post of the various Discord, Telegram channels.
Oh, gotcha.
I think it's in the about section.
It's right now. It's so it's not pinned in the group, but it's in the about section.
Okay.
But on the weekly rundowns, we put all the links in there too, though.
That too. So every time we
We
put a
can add
weekly
that.
rundown on Sunday, which admittedly because of the chaos we've missed 2 weeks now.
Oh, I was wondering why.
Yeah.
It was quiet.
Yeah, we are. We've had smaller updates throughout the week.
There hasn't
But
been
at
many
the
updates.
end, so any businessy official post that we make on the page or on the U2F2 events channel or in the Utahfers chat, all of that fun stuff. At the very end of it, there's a big long list of links that's sectioned off by a line of underscores, and any one of those links, if you look at them, they're labeled. They have the Telegram chat, they have the submission form for events, they have the U2F2 quarterly concern submission form, which, if you want us to talk about something, you can let us know ahead of time, and then we can put it on the itinerary, which would be awesome. There's a lot of links on there for various things, including the Google Calendar, and I think that's all of it, but I'm probably missing something. I don't know if Discord is actually in there, but we can definitely add it. That's something that we can do.
I think the Discord is the only thing not on there.
Okay.
I know you've got like the meetup, the Facebook page, the Telegram chat, all of that.
Yeah, we have
I think it's just the
the
Discord.
submission form for make your own meat. Oh, whoa, so there's waste. Yeah, okay. Submission form to make your own meat. The U2F2 volunteer telegram. So, you don't use much. The U2F2 anonymous ask box on Tumblr. U2F2 telegram announcements, which is what I'm reading this off of. U2F2 community calendar, and then U2F2 meetup group.
Okay.
So the meetup
And if anybody is subscribed to the Google Calendar, you just got a notification for the Tracy Aviary meet starting on October 14th.
Oh, yeah, has anybody called about whether fursuits are allowed there?
Nobody's called yet.
Okay.
We'll let you know closer to time. So Omega had his question put up. He asked if the Facebook interviews are only for members in Utah, or is everyone who is a part of the community in the pool? For example, I'm still part of the community and interact with the community even though I live in Wyoming. Would I still qualify for an interview, or does the fact that I'm not in Utah disqualify me?
No, I think it's if you're part
That's. I'm going to go ahead and say that that's not been decided on yet. I mean, the spotlight in general is still a work in progress situation. That can definitely be determined later. But personally, on my interpretation of it, stop me if you guys disagree. But it is supposed to be somebody who kind of can go to meets, can
Right.
be there for the people who are showing up to meets for the first time. But it's still all up in the air, so there's that. We have a comment from
Kinda. As in kind of. Anyway, but so I once made this joke about Wyoming, and it's just like the only thing that lives in Wyoming is the wind. Like how are the Wyoming furs supposed to get their own group together when that's the only thing that lives in Wyoming? Kind of thing. Part of me for playing devil's advocate on that, and we have a lot of people who probably are in the Evanston area who can just swing on in under an hour.
Yeah.
I think they should have the opportunity to voice their opinion as part of this group, though, frankly, just mostly.
Well, that's why we have, and that's why we have Omega right here, who's right now on Discord.
What if, people who are comfortable with being featured submit their name?
So that was another. I know that it would be another Google form, and we had discussed that, but we hadn't really solidified on anything. Mostly, as I mentioned in the chat, right now the spotlighting thing, we kind of wanted to get it out there, get people's opinions on it, get people talking about it, about the concept of it in general. At this point, but there's still plenty to iron out.
Right. Plenty of things.
Well, I think understand how far he does and then move forward.
Yeah.
That's kind of the idea.
Okay. Let me get the. Okay. By this point, I'm ready to go into talking about what meets we want to do for the months of November and December.
We did have one more question.
Oh, do we?
On
Okay.
the submission form.
Oh yeah, that's
about
right.
the Telegram channel.
Right. What?
Why don't we have a U2F2 official Telegram channel?
Because we have Utah Furs, which is not an official U2F2 Telegram.
That was created before any other Telegram group could be created, and it basically became
Just
the
kind of
Telegram group
central
everybody
hub.
used, so we've just used it.
Yeah, and I don't know.
I think it would be fun if we did a furry Thanksgiving. Like we did like a potluck or something.
If you want to run it, submit a thing, and we'll totally post it up.
I will help you with that. I will get a turkey.
So
Everyone bring a turkey.
So funny story.
Everybody bring a turkey.
I was kind of actually working on that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So. All right.
I had no idea.
I might have a location for us. So.
Oh, cool.
Way to hold out.
I will bring soup or something.
Okay.
Mystic says that your laugh hurts her ears.
Oh, I'm sorry. I rolled out.
I'll turn the mic down just a little.
Yeah.
His of all the
Dang it,
people.
Paul.
I have
Right?
I have a loud voice. I have a voice that can
You're
carry.
also sitting right next to
I'm also
me.
sitting right next to the mic.
You're right next to
Okay, now Mystic, I have a very important question. Is it his voice? Are you sure, or is it my shrill ass voice?
I think he knows. She should know my. She should know my laugh. She
Probably.
doesn't lie.
I've been told to not scree. Don't tempt me.
Probably. I would not be utterly surprised if it is me. But that's me in my theater voice.
Yeah.
So anyway, do we like? I guess that's kind of. Does that answer the question of why we don't have a U2F2 Telegram?
Unless we see a need for it, unless you guys see a need for it, I think we're okay with using Utah Furs as our main chat for the community.
I feel like if we did, it would just basically just be a kind of a duplicate of the Utah.
It would definitely be a duplicate of the Utah Furs, and also, I mean, in the long run, it would end up being less because people are already in the Utah Furs. And I can tell you right now that my immediate reaction is, why would we go over there when this is here?
Mm-hmm.
That's happened multiple times. People try to make additional chat groups because they want something different, and it's hard to beat a beast like that
Yep.
with 300 people in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And sometimes that's why they make the additional giant groups, because it's already too damn crowded.
All right, moving on to ideas, brainstorming for meets for the
Free meat.
free meet.
I'm just gonna specify free meat for this.
Okay, we're just gonna do free meets first. Okay.
For November.
Yeah, November. Yeah, let's do. I guess we'll start with the
Yeah, we'll start with November. It's like also keep in mind, think of if you know of local events that are going on, things like the State Fair or Taylorsville, like Daisy or however.
Pride events or.
Right. You know, just event like even just like local events that are going on. That could potentially be included in just sort of meets, especially that'd be something really good for like if you don't have to pay to get in kind of a thing, that'd be really good for free meets. So.
Like Garner Village has their witch event.
I'm freaking
For November?
October.
I don't know. So October. This is specifically for November. So think about what's going on in November.
Oh.
Yeah.
These are free meat ideas.
Maybe
'Cause
they have
our-
maybe they have witch Thanksgiving.
Our October.
They might start their elf thing.
Our October meets have already been decided and voted on. That was the sort of month in advance so that we didn't have to rush to create it at the end of this meet.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Right.
Quality of life. Bullcrap again.
So yeah, specifically for November. If anybody can think of anything going on around Utah in November, definitely give that as a suggestion. We can vote on it later.
An anti-Black Friday thing.
Anti-Black Friday thing?
Yeah.
Like-
Where instead of like go to Black Friday, we hang out or something.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
I'm sorry, there's a
That sounded-
sale that day.
That sounded very
extremely
suggestive for a
like-
second there. I was like,
When you worked in retail for over a decade, you hate everything Black Friday.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yeah,
As somebody who worked in retail for 3 years, Black Friday can go shove itself out the door to be family friendly about it.
I'm kind of
I'm
glad.
very
Makes me glad. IKEA's too cool for
Foul
Black
mouth
Friday.
here.
You guys close now?
No, we don't close it. We just don't really do anything special
Oh.
for Black Friday.
Hey,
We're
sweets.
just too cool for it.
Because of the Swedish company.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's really kind of what it is.
That's what it sounded like.
We already have our Christmas stuff up.
What more do you want?
Like I mean.
And that doesn't necessarily restrict anything. If you guys just want to go to a coffee shop, or we just got a suggestion for snowboarding or skiing, which that sounds.
That's more like a winter thing.
That's a winter thing, not
Okay.
I mean, if it's snow, I mean, the way it's going, it's gonna snow in November, and I hate it. But that's beside the point.
We could go sledding.
Sledding is always for November, though.
But snow in November, you just said so.
Let's not assume.
Let's put it as a maybe, okay?
We'll bookmark it.
It'd
Okay.
be very awkward to have a snowing meet and there's no snow.
We can go ice
I was
blocking.
about to say, if there's no snow, ice walk.
Oh,
What
I
about a bingo
I was
night?
gonna say, I know we did the event around this time last year, I believe. It was my first event that I went to as the FER group, but we could go ice skating again.
Okay.
But that's
actually
really
yeah,
fun,
yeah.
Well, and that's November. Ice skating is all year round. We've got Bountiful Rec Center has an ice skating rink. The
I know
Gallivan
Provo's
Center has an
got
ice
one
skating rink.
somewhere. I've just never
And also, it's a question of is it free to
Yeah.
get into the ice rink too?
I just realized that.
I'm trying to remember.
It
not on
is
the ice
free
skating,
if you
but-
spray the parking lot and it turns into ice.
Hold on. Okay. Yeah.
So something that we could do as a free meet is basically get out a room like this, at one of the libraries,
Okay.
do a bingo night.
Oh my
that
God.
sounds fun.
That does sound fun.
You can also do like a
We can do
murder
like-
mystery too.
Ooh, or like a science fiction, or what was I thinking?
I am not a mind reader, girl.
You know
No.
that if we do a bingo, there's an escape room over by
Mystery Science Theater.
Okay, I'm down. Let's talk.
I'm gonna go with you, Vanessa.
Going off of his idea, why don't we have like a board game night and everybody bring their favorite board games?
Yes. Yes.
But
I
isn't
vote-
that always?
I
Do
vote
you want
that.
to talk on that since that's
Yeah.
admittedly.
We kind of.
Oh,
But it also it would so we do have a Wednesday game night.
I'm okay with doing more.
Yeah, but that's like
It's like
D&D.
more-
We could play other things.
It is not like D&D. It is like Monopoly,
Have you been?
where you have each other by the throat at the end of it. I mean,
I have never completed a game of Monopoly because I got too angry at
I
it.
do want to bring up the issue that it is a weekly meet, but that is on a Wednesday. That
Yep.
doesn't work with my schedule.
I see.
Or mine.
so I definitely don't see a problem with having a copy for the people who can't make it to Wednesday nights because I totally understand as somebody who sleeps and works at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Sleep. What's that?
But yeah, so we could definitely have a copy of the game night meet for a special Saturday session. Mystic has suggested a furry D&D thing that begins early and lasts all day and night.
That would be interesting.
You know what? Okay, hold up. If we go with Savage Worlds, I might be willing to GM.
I would end up GMing. I know that for sure. We'd have to. So many people would do that we'd have to split it into multiple.
Again, like I
multiple
said, I
things.
can help.
Okay. Well, we definitely. I mean, this is all suggestion. So this is all going on like a vote thing.
Yeah.
Like right after this, to be honest.
Well, and even if it doesn't get picked, something like that's not that hard to organize.
Nope.
So.
I don't know. Where are they?
Go ahead.
So I just thought of another suggestion. Again,
They should
we've
be
done
able to
it
get in.
before as an event, as a group. But what if we do another river walk?
Oh, I'd be so down for that. Oh my gosh, Fall Time River Walk.
Yes!
Fall Time River Walk.
This might be a bit of a stretch, but maybe a slumber party.
I don't know how to do that, but I'm down to try.
Remember, there's usually no sleeping. It's just, I am awake. Yeah, but
Hey,
that's part of the
hey, are
fun.
you awake? Shut up, I'm trying to go to sleep.
You still awake, man?
Let's see here.
What you guys were talking about with doing like an all-nighter thing? There's a rec center just down the hill from here. I saw posts showing that they do like all-night things. I don't know like how often they do it, but I can find out.
What's the rec center called?
Is it the Taylorsville one?
No, it's just like right down the street from here. I can't remember what it's called.
That's like right across from Walmart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta find out.
Let me know.
Ooh.
Yep.
If anybody wants to go to Provo, the Provo Rec Center has a fun indoor pool with like slides and crap.
I do like a swimming thing.
Yeah, if we want to do like
Indoor
social-
swimming is nice in the winter because the pools are heated.
Right. Okay.
Just kidding.
And so there's a lazy river, and
They added that to the Battle Rec Center too.
I don't know.
Is it free to get in?
No,
No. Okay. So that should be like a paid thing.
sorry.
Okay.
I just was the.
You're right. Okay. Well, should we move on to paid meets or?
Yeah, so out of curiosity, I know you're in the chat too. Have you been getting,
I haven't got those. We can go back in a second.
yeah, if you wouldn't mind terribly.
Yep.
Because
Okay.
I can't type and keep track of the chat at the same time.
Yeah.
Just, somebody said D&D and it went
I'll go back
Anyway,
through.
Anyway.
paid November meets?
Yeah, paid November meets.
I'm gonna second the ice skating thing because that just sounds awesome.
The ice skating. Yeah.
I always fall on my butt, so I'll probably just stay and cheer. Stay on the sidelines and cheer.
I'm trying to remember if the ice skating we did at the Gallivan Center
Shut your
in December
face.
last year was free or not. I can't
It wasn't.
remember.
No.
We'll
No.
give
No,
you like
was
an
not.
ice sled or something. And
Yeah. Well, I mean, no. Okay, wait. It was free if you had skates.
Okay. You had to rent skates.
Right. But if you didn't have skates, you had to rent some. That's where it cost money. That's what I remember.
Mystic has mentioned that Cornbelly's Corn Maze goes till the 3rd of November.
I was actually just about to ask how long do those typically go
Yeah,
for?
it goes till the 3rd of November apparently. So,
Where's that at?
I think it's at Thanksgiving Point, maybe.
Cornbellies, if I remember right, it's down in that
It's
area.
it's at Thanksgiving Point, and I freaking love it, and I need a GoPro.
So to everybody in the chat, I do want to mention, please keep in mind that the October meets are already decided on. So if you want to have a corn maze meet, it might be the best idea to fill out a event form and host it yourself because the two U2F2 meets have already been scheduled for October.
Right.
What is November 3rd anyway?
November 3rd's a Friday. According
Does
to
that mean like just
Could be
right?
done.
maybe, yeah.
There's also the one they did last year. Was that South Jordan? The one that Core organized?
Oh, I have no idea.
I wanted to go to that.
I slept through it.
But Okay, so
But I think corn maze would be a lot of fun again.
corn maze is
Yep.
Would corn
It's
maze
seasonal, so we gotta hit it.
Yeah.
Right. Is corn maze free or paid?
It would be a paid.
It would be paid.
Okay.
But again, at this point, since November 3rd is a Friday, and the meets typically happen on Saturday, it would at this point it would need to be a autocrat event. Somebody would need to sign up to host it and gather and organize everything.
Right. Because it wouldn't be on a Saturday. It would be over by the time it would be the first thing on
Yep.
November.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh, Thule says he's filling out a form right now, so there goes that, and I'll post that later today.
Hooray!
Corn maze! Just write it in, just pencil. Okay, where are we going? We're going November paid meets?
We're talking about paid meets. Ideas for paid meets.
What
I
about
have-
hot springs?
Hot springs.
Ooh, yeah.
My favorite is Lava Hot Springs, but we'd have to travel. There is also
There's one in Provost, like 5 minutes away from where I live.
There's also one like
Yeah.
we did though like
I've never been
There is
to
hot
Hot
springs.
Yes.
There's a couple.
We did do that like 3 years ago. It was like a summer thing. Was the Lava Hot Springs between us and the Idaho?
I just need a full body wetsuit so that everything stays put.
Hot springs are the best to do in colder weather.
Yeah, I know, 'cause we went
Agreed.
on the lazy stream up there, and I almost died.
And then it's like get in really hot.
Is it gonna be-
and it's
really
cold?
Is it going to be easier to get into those places with a large group of people in November or December?
Probably, I'm guessing probably November because people like to book it for Christmas and December.
That
So
makes
it's
sense.
lava, and it's cheaper per person. If you do it like, if you pay individually, it's like $8 per person. But unless you're like over 65, then it's like $4. But I say yeah. But
Passing notes in class, I see.
Wow.
It's like $5.
No, hold on. Bring that up to the front. I'm kidding.
Sorry.
Keep it going. I don't care.
I think it's like $5 per person if you book more than 11 people.
Okay.
If you wanted to, okay, what's that say?
Hi.
Yes. You have.
What about going to the Museum of Ancient Life? It's also down on Thanksgiving Point.
Okay.
Do they have the Viking things still going?
That's near.
Oh,
That's
we have a
that's
dinosaur in the
the
chat, and you just made him very
Natural
happy.
History Museum.
Yay!
What she's talking
Well, I
about.
freaking love
Natural History
dinosaurs.
Museum's up at the U of U,
Oh.
and the one she mentioned is down at
It's
the
the one you can see
Thanksgiving
the
Point.
big T-Rex bones on as you drive by. on the
Yeah,
freeway.
and there's like
I've actually.
I remember there's also like a thingy where there's sand and water and toy dinosaurs we can play with.
Yeah,
Like
that's-
giant children.
He's not allowed.
I can't know.
No playing in the sand.
I take all the sand. That's true. You were there, weren't you? Yeah, I took all the sand. And,
Took the sand?
well, yeah, I was playing with the sand. I was playing with the sand. Nobody else. I was. I agree. Yeah. Apparently, I don't share sand very well.
You were not a popular kid in the sandbox.
No, we're not.
I have a suggestion for if ever there's a day where we're planning something outside and the weather's just crap. The Asian market on 33rd and State just recently opened up a KTV, which is karaoke TV. You rent a room.
And they got some big rooms too.
Like the little like
Yeah.
they have those here.
I'm all over that.
Yeah, right. We checked them out. The rooms are actually pretty good size. They
I
have
was like, I don't know how many rooms are their max capacity for like if you rented the whole space, but they're really affordable. Like they have a group package for a room that can house 30 people for 4 hours from like 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. It'd be super cool. And you'd only pay like $9
Per
for
person.
all 4 hours
Per
if you were to do 30 people.
What is this again?
It's like a KTV, which is karaoke TV. You have a room to yourself and a group of friends, and you get to just be stupid.
sit, eat, and sing music or listen to music. So
We could have like a fakey sleepover thingy where like we don't actually sleep over, but we like go somewhere in our pajamas and we watch fun movies and play like dumb slumber party games.
That was
or whatever.
kind of the idea of that slumber party
Yeah.
suggestion.
That's what slumber party
like
suggestion?
sleeping over.
The one she suggested.
Oh, she said karaoke.
No,
I said both.
Gallery walk.
Oh,
this is in the past.
Building
Take
off
down a
of Mr.
gallery walk.
This was the not service that passed.
Mystic suggested a gallery walk, like an art gallery.
Oh, okay.
Holy crap!
Could be super
Firefox.
Ooh. Has anyone ever done like a swap meet? Everyone just brings $5 and try to find the craziest thing you can at a swap meet.
I just show up and I'd win.
It'd just be like it would be a contest of the weirdest thing you can
Yeah.
find for $5.
What did you find?
I found this person.
That could technically be a free meet because does it cost money to get into the swap meet?
I don't know. I've never been to one, but I've heard it's a really fun idea.
Yeah.
I've
There's
been in
like
a really long time.
there's one at this like the drive this mountain.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be fun to
And that's
drive
during
there.
the
right across the street from it, so I can find
That's
out.
generally what they do during the day, since you can't really have a drive-in theater during the day.
We should go in December. We should go to the drive-through to see clothes for the winter.
They're actually already closed.
Are you kidding me? That hurt my soul.
It's dead, Jim.
The drive-thru's closed now?
Yeah, because we went on the last day. My sister asked, and she's like, "Well, so when's like the last day you guys are showing movies?" And she's like, "Today." Yeah.
Like the season gallery.
Yeah, it's for like the season.
Go
they're
gallery
doing
walk.
Yeah, like an art gallery. Oh.
You know how amazing it would be to watch a scary movie in the drive-through on Halloween?
No.
We went to
Yes.
Yes,
I already-
let's watch someone fly through the roof
I already
and
did
come
that.
out.
Well,
Yeah,
we're
by myself,
behind,
it's
but this
hilarious.
could be potentially a free meet. But what if we have a bonfire?
Before it gets too cold, we
Like
can
a
go back
lot
up the
of, like, a
canyon.
fall bonfire.
Ooh, that sounds comfy.
Salt flats.
That sounds
And there
super
won't be
comfy.
bees
Uh,
this
that's
time.
I only throw an autumn sage
It'll be cold.
fire.
Is that in November?
Yeah, 28th.
Oh, so November 28th, Festival of Trees.
I would love fall bonfire just because I have an excuse to do stuff for a fire.
Wait, what is that?
Festival of Trees? It's
You've never been?
Can you remind me what the Festival of Trees is?
Well, people get together and decorate Christmas trees, and then they do like arts and crafts.
And
They have
it's usually
food.
like a charity event.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you donate your tree, somebody bids on it, and the proceeds go to a charity.
That'd be fun to make like a furry or an animal.
I think I remember that we tried it
We-
last
Let's go with
year.
animal
We discussed it, and you
Well,
gotta
you
put in
know
your
what I mean.
request. I
Early.
think it was like really early.
I think that's the problem. We always think of the idea too late to enter.
Yeah, but as a paid
So-
meet, it's fun to
How early
Why
do
don't
you
we
typically have
find
to
out if we can
submit?
still suggest them?
We could probably still look into it like as soon as possible. But as like an event that we can attend, but participating like putting in a tree, we might have been past that point already. I don't know. But if we aren't, we could do. Here's just an idea: is have a bunch of people make tails and then just build a tree.
Oh,
The tail tree.
that's fun.
Big
Yes,
fluffy
Yes,
tree.
let's call it Raising Tail. I'm sorry, everyone.
So
I'm
then who
terrible.
will be getting these tails afterwards?
Somebody could bid on that tree and buy it. So
And then they have like a crap load of tails.
Good God.
I was thinking either that or depending on whether or not it's closer to the holiday season, it could be donated.
well, that's what the Festival of Trees does. They donate the tree to be sold, and the
Oh,
proceeds
okay,
go
gotcha.
to charity in some way.
Yeah.
So
I'm just like,
either way, if a furry wants to buy a tree full of tails.
Or like if we got like just a tree and then made little tail ornaments.
Yeah.
That would probably
Because
be
like,
not as
because the thing about everybody making different tails is they're not all gonna be the same size. So we're gonna have like a tree that goes like.
And it'd be a lot easier for a lot of people to make a lot of small tails.
Yeah.
And also, I suppose you could standardize it, but at the same time, then you're also standardizing. Also, I'm not that good at making tails. I'm okay with making makeshift tools or questionable choices.
I'm really good at pretending to know what I'm doing.
That's adult.
That's best depending.
I can adult
Kind of.
about
We got a good number of paid
60%
meets
of
on there.
Oh, we've got
Yeah, ideas, yes.
at least one for 1 month, yeah.
Okay. And then, yeah, and then should we do December now?
Topic: December free meets.
December free meets. Are there any of the November free meets that could also be sort of like recycled, like if they don't get chosen for November, can be recycled for December?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, there's probably a bunch on that.
We already have. Somebody has already said sledding. Good job, Mystic.
That's the equivalent of going first
Just
First comment.
Moss says, "My birthday!" So you hear that, everybody? Now we know that Moss's birthday is in December. How old are you gonna be, Moss? Oh, December the 4th. She's not hiding anything. And she's gonna be 19. So everybody's got their paddles ready, right?
I have a bullwhip. Does that count?
Bullwhips count. Bullwhips count.
Everybody just
Anyway,
line up at Moss's
serious suggestions, guys.
So we're in December now, right? What?
Snowman building.
If there's snow.
Or
If
like,
there's snow.
Probably
or like
December.
we could do something like
This is a
like
fire.
fake snowmen, and then we have like a bunch of accessories for snowmen available.
Maybe we could like
like make that a Starfield or whatever. What the heck?
We could go drop off a snowman at different houses or something.
I-
Just holiday cheer.
I want to see what the sudden
Go caroling. We could go caroling.
the sudden outburst of joyful motion was over here.
So I had a thought that going off of the building tail ornaments, what if we do ornament creating for our Christmas trees, but that would still require money to get the materials to make that?
You know, that's actually a pretty cool idea. Yeah, I can see that for a painting.
But that's what that was.
Yeah. Like, that was very amusing.
Okay.
Or
So
second
fun.
thought, what if we make it into an art jam? I know a lot of people are asking for art jams a little more now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Kind of like art jams, like the ones that Cigna does, are kind of have been converted to also go along with the Wednesday game night, or is
Yeah,
it?
so they happen in the study hall behind Wednesday game night too.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's sort of it could also be it's another situation of people who again can't go to game night obviously can't go to those as well, and so it would be kind of like it would be a one.
Watchtower's
Saturday.
pretty open
Why
for
don't we
schedule.
actually why don't we have a poetry night?
I can do that. I'm good at poetry. That'd be.
I'm not. I'm bad at this.
Well, not like even just poetry, spoken word. I mean, honestly.
Or like read stories or short stories
Doesn't have
or
to
like
be verse. It
passages.
could be prose.
Yeah, it's honestly.
So kind of like the art jams, but writing.
Yes.
We gotta find somebody with bongos.
God. Hi.
Do these count?
So not to derail it, but at the last art jam I was absolutely writing.
Wait. Okay.
Just kind of putting that out there as a
so
thing.
Counterpoint to that, what's art? Writing is writing out things. We're talking about performing.
Yeah, like.
Oh, you're talking about
speaking
performing.
things.
Oh,
Actual,
gotcha.
like,
Okay,
poetry
my mistake.
performance.
I thought we were talking
You
about
can
like.
do whatever you want to in your free time, Tatsu.
Wow! 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 Wow!
I'm aggressive, but dang, girl.
Wow!
Stop it, Tatsu. Stop it.
I'm trying to get Moss.
Oh.
Cause every time you go, wow. Okay, I'm satisfied. Anyway, so you're talking about like an open mic night.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, like, we do. I'm again building off the whole thing of a poet. It's like, why the heck not? Why shouldn't we try to do something like this?
Well, I know
No,
there's a
absolutely
lot of
not.
writers. in
And
the
I mean,
world,
and I do want to remind everybody that at this moment it is kind of a suggestions thing. All this is going to get tossed up onto the polls for the next 2 months of meets. And if you want to do something that doesn't get voted on,
Do it.
fill out a form. We'll post it. Just tell us what date. We'll blast it out on our quarterly on our announcement channel and the Facebook and Meetup and everywhere else we have our grody little fingers.
I don't know if I'd do that as like a December maybe thing, but I would totally be down to even just go and listen to people like in January, February.
Dude,
Maybe
like,
I could get
honestly,
something written.
if I can find a place, we can probably try to do this week.
So they do that at Watchtower with a different group. I don't know what their schedule would be, but places like that are great candidates for that sort of thing. Coffee
Yeah,
shops.
Coffee shops, right? Yeah.
Is that a suitable amount of what we would say for?
We're
So
a
we do
little
have a lot
short
of
on paid
crossover
meets.
too.
Yeah,
What
and a lot
else
of
was said
crossover.
for December?
Yeah.
Also, another thing. What about volunteering or going to like the Humane Society and walking dogs for a day? Oh, I don't know.
Every furry gets a dog.
I don't know if it would be a requirement. It
go back
might be
to the
something
shelter
that
for
you
me.
have a background check done. I used to work in an animal shelter. In order to volunteer, you would have to either contact the director or have a background check done before you volunteer. So that might be something that you can do.
Okay. I don't think we usually walk
terrify the dogs with our
cats.
fursuits.
Cats need as much love. Give them all the pets.
There's a cat cafe that's trying to open.
Is it open yet?
I don't know.
Yes,
I haven't
soon. She's supposed to be open.
Okay. What is Cat Cafe? It's just a cafe with lots of cats. Oh, okay.
So they are always sanctioned.
Yeah, well.
They are sanctioned and having to divide it between the food service and the cats, but they have to have an hour sign up. You're only allotted an hour to hang out with the cats. Whereas in the shelter, they have so many.
Oh, I think it's actually open.
Yes, she opened like early summer.
Okay, Cat Cafe. That would be a pay meet though. Oh, we are on pay meets. I'm done.
Yeah. On Cat Cafe. Okay, and then I'll suggest one pay meet I have, which is the Chaos Mysteries pay meet. They actually open they're open in December by this point. Right now they're out of season because there's a haunted house being run.
Oh, I don't understand why that would cause any issues.
Yeah.
A chaos what?
It's called Chaos Mysteries. Basically what Chaos Mysteries is, it's essentially live action Clue. It's like live action Clue or a live action point and click adventure game. Basically there's a situation of, and I've been in several of these.
Colonel Mustard in the library with a wrench.
Kind of. Well, what
kind
are
of
we,
like a mystery escape room, right? But with
yeah, it
Clue
is.
incorporated.
Yeah, because what it is what happens is I'll take for instance the last one we did was one called it was called Malice in Wonderland. It was Alice in Wonderland theme. And what it is the situation I've actually been in a couple. In this case, the situation was the Queen of Hearts was about to do a croquet tournament, and before the croquet tournament could start, somebody killed the Queen of Hearts.
What?
Mm-hmm. Somebody went and killed the Queen of Hearts, and so now we have to, and so basically what it usually entails is there's two sides of it. You can have a lot of times people will go and eat dinner. You can go in and sign up and have dinner beforehand, or you could just come in for just the mystery portion itself. And people we get a whole bunch of people gathered in there, and there's characters like people who are paid to like play certain characters. In this last one I played the Mad Hatter, and so there was a Mad Hatter, March Hare, Queen of Hearts, King of Hearts. There's all these characters. There's a whole bunch of characters, and what you do, and so they set up a situation. They do like an opening scene. And you would, they would set up the scene of, oh, the queen's dead. We have to figure out who killed the queen. Also, the Heart of Wonderland is missing. We got to go figure out where that went. Yeah, real quick.
Yeah. So for another pay, it is. I think it's a paid. So it'd be a paid meet. Down in you said Alpine, right?
I think so.
Down in Alpine, I think it's at a college. I'm not sure exactly where.
High school.
Is it high school? Okay. So they actually have an interactive Star Trek bridge simulator.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And so and depending, and you can have groups of like I think 6 up to like 30, and they have like a fully interactive. You sit at your station and you monitor your thing, and you all work together depending on whatever the scenario is and stuff like that.
And try to not get your ship destroyed.
Yeah, exactly. and I really with a lot of nerds, it's like that's kind of nerdy. I think that'd be.
I will wear a red shirt to that.
Why would you wear a red shirt to that?
So I can die in the first 5 minutes.
Now they are
A
smaller.
glorious blaze.
So you'd have to probably do small groups of people each day.
There are small groups. So like I said, you can go in with like 6 people if you want, but there's
bigger ones.
There is bigger ones as well.
I was gonna ask you
Yeah, you have the Kobayashi
No,
Maru,
we're not
then
doing the Kobayashi Maru. I want to win.
Man, you ain't Spock, dude.
And then just to finish
But
up.
look, your data though.
Just do it.
Just to finish up what I was saying about Mystery Theater, basically you do an opening scene, you figure out the situation, then you go out, you go into their set, find like clues, and they're usually like on these cards, and you find clues and you do like kind of this exchange where you have to you pick up a clue, you have to find a character that you think this would go to, and you give them the clue card. They say, "Oh, thank you, I needed this. Here, I'll give you this in return," or they do a variant of that until eventually through that clue chain you solve the mystery of who killed the Queen of Hearts or where the Heart of Wonderland went. So yeah, that's what Chaos Mysteries are.
So
Yeah.
we're paid now, right?
Yeah, we're paid.
Okay, so the suggestion that I had was doing sleigh rides up at Hardware Ranch to go see the elk in December. That's pretty cool.
Ooh.
Which ranch
I don't
is
think
that?
I've ever seen an elk in person.
Hardware Ranch.
Hardware.
Did you get Space Camp down?
Star Trek Bird Simulator? Is
Not that one. It was a different one.
What was it?
So I'll link you.
Really? Did he recruit us?
Space. I'm like,
Or-
so.
Yeah, and then they do the Christmas Polar Express, I think, too.
Is that just an October thing?
Has anyone done the escape room?
An escape room.
I think we have done
that
an
was
escape room
that was a
with the-
previous meet that we did.
Yeah.
We
But
could do it
yeah,
again.
you could definitely do it again.
Mystery escape
Is it
room?
also like a new RC game? You guys went?
Yeah, we did it. We did it with Get Out Games back in.
Was that
That was probably
March or February?
Oh yeah, that's
Space
right. 'Cause I
Central.
remember you guys posting about it. And I was pissed.
I see.
Okay, sorry. Nick's thing was the same.
Oh,
It was
what?
the Star Trek thing.
Yeah, it was the Star Trek thing. Yeah, but but we can absolutely do another escape room. Those are fun. I did one with work recently. They're great for like team building exercises, and they're really fun. They're really fun to do. But yeah.
Another paid meet could be airsoft.
Yeah.
For those who care to do it. I mean,
I
I know
love
some
that.
people don't like it, but
I'm down with that.
I've never done it, so I'd be willing to.
it
How do you
hurts,
like
but it's
welts?
fun.
Yeah, no, I know pain is involved. I know. My
No, I love airsoft to death. I really do.
All I have to do is just
I don't think so. Plus, it might
falls down
tail
with
it.
the
That's yeah.
Unless you have a
As long as
geared
it's
up
not
person.
paintball in fursuit.
But I can't.
Oh!
Please
That
no.
would be, Is that right?
Oh, zoo lights.
That's kind of
Yes!
Possibly like getting.
And then apparently Thanksgiving Point is doing a thing similar to zoo lights. I just linked you open. Called Luminaria.
Different from Lumaria.
I think it might be like early December, but there's also the winter fair. If people want to
Oh yeah, when is the winter fair this year?
I think,
Does it have a date yet?
I believe it's, well, wasn't it
2017 winter fair.
like early, either the second?
It's a resort. Yeah, it's out.
Hang on.
2017 Utah winter fair.
It is December 1st.
Oh wow, holy cow.
Yeah, really early. So yeah, but I was,
Nico, this will be more of a free meet, but Nico's suggesting a winter fursuit walk on like the Jordan Parkway or Gardner Village. Well, Gardner Village probably wouldn't be free, but
Walking in a winter wonderland.
walking, yeah.
Gardner Village for free.
Gardner Village?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm dumb. I was thinking of This Is the Place.
Oh, that might charge.
That definitely charges you. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's down by Zion.
winter fair is December 1st through the 3rd.
I literally just said that.
Well, I didn't hear you. I got these big ass headphones on.
So our small ass headphones.
No, then I can hear people outside of them.
Yes, but what are they?
Oh, they're Razor Black Sharks.
Oh no, I meant small. If those are big, then what is small?
Earbuds.
So another suggestion, I know someone earlier suggested the living museum, but what if we do the Living Planet Aquarium?
Yep, we have done. There have been
Aquarium is always fun. Are they doing anything for Christmas-ish?
If I find a Groupon for the aquarium, we gotta go for that because it's stupid expensive to go.
It's ridiculous.
Just a little, yeah.
But it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Groups, but you go out there for the day, come back. They pick you up.
Okay. Those are November and December.
You just got anything else?
I would just say, of all these meets that we've discussed, obviously only 2 of them are going to get picked for each month, and there's a lot of great ideas on here. So
we'll also probably have to like go through and figure out like which of them, if we can feasibly do them, you know, and sort of like and just sort of we you know, we might have to exclude some ideas on there just because it's like there's not a good possible way to do this, or we can't do this for legal reasons, as an example of
What happened with the movie night? I'm so mad. I'm so dumb.
What happened with the movie?
Oh, the outdoor movie night. It was like, oh hell yeah, let's do an outdoor movie night. That sounds awesome. Brings blankets, bags of popcorn. It'll be freaking great. And then, you know, I'm looking into it and I'm looking for where we can do it, and I find out that there's apparently displaying a movie in public gets you arrested for piracy.
All right.
Because, you know, I'm totally charging everybody who walks by for a glimpse at the movie, right? Anyway.
I've broken the law a few times.
Like, ask somebody they can borrow their backyard. And then
Yeah, but that's
private.
having somebody borrowing
I
somebody's
understand.
backyard is a little not feasible.
I do know that the place where they hold the winter fair, the Legacy Events Center, you can rent one of those buildings for super cheap. We could do something in one
Are
of
they
those.
cheap?
I looked them up.
I mean,
and
they're freezing, but they're cheap.
yeah, there's no like heaters or anything.
Bundle up.
Yeah.
What was it called?
We're fursuit,
The Legacy Events Center.
I think it's pretty cheap.
It's in
Oh, yeah,
Farmington.
and then you can, and then if it's just
Oh,
something that
I know that
we're
place.
just doing,
Yeah.
then
Mhm.
you can
Yeah.
absolutely fursuit it.
Yeah, you could absolutely fursuit there. You could, you know, have a movie on a projector because they've got, you know,
It's
walls
indoors.
that
They've
got
are really
walls.
great. That they're blank.
So did we already have a movie night up for December or November free meets?
No.
Because we can always try that again. I still need to. I'm running out of time, and I apologize on that. Hey, Chris.
Yes.
Do you know if Bonsai still has the back room at Caffeinio's during October?
I have no idea, but I can find out.
I would love it if you would, because the first Saturday.
So the 7th.
Yep. Because I wanted to snag their back room, but you guys are usually back there the first Saturday. And then we could watch a movie and drink coffee and eat sandwiches. It'll be lovely.
As far as I know for bonsai events, he probably knows better than I do. But I think because bonsai is coming up this month.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm just gonna ask the person in charge of that. So
Good luck getting her to reply because she wouldn't to me.
her computer's down.
Fine. Just take my tea and spill it everywhere. Anyway.
But I guess just to finish that thought, there's a lot of great meets on here. Obviously, we can't do all of them. If there's
That's
one
not
that
to say people can't take
Yeah.
them and run them
if
themselves.
if you want to see that happen,
Hint, hint.
yes. And you're not sure how to organize it, just come talk to one of us. We can help you get that meet off the ground. And I think having more events is better. It gives us more time to meet people and interact and have a good time. So if you want to see
Just,
something happen that didn't get picked, let's make it happen anyway.
Yep. Honestly, if you want something to happen, there is always the option to do it yourself.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of the thing about this fandom. It's a DIY thing.
Very much is. Yep.
And on that note, this last quarter we had 14 autocrat events. So
User events. I like it.
So that's awesome, and I appreciate everyone who put in the effort to do that and help out. So
Are you counting bar nights and
No.
game nights? Okay. Just had to ask.
No.
I know that so there's always the option of just doing the event, but if you do want it posted on U2F2 Space, so the Facebook group, the new page that's coming up.
So that it can be more publicized.
Yep, so that it can get blasted out through the media that everybody's already following. We do have that link in our announcements that's just a submission form. We ask for your name, the title of the event, the description of the event, time, date, place. There's more information on the form itself that you can read up on while you're filling it out, if you decide to fill it out. But yeah, if you want something to happen and it doesn't get picked for the monthly meets, go for it. It's free game at that point.
Alright. Okay, anybody have any last concerns while we still have the quarterly meet open? Because if not, we will close it.
So it's kind of going back on to having like ambassadors for people to go to. I also kind of feel like that's good for those who live outside of Salt Lake, because I noticed that that's kind of a big thing that people
Right,
are
yeah,
having
this
a
is-
hard time getting in contact with people. That I was thinking that if people were interested in doing so, will there be some sort of form for that for people to just put their name on so that that information can be given out so that people know who to contact?
Mm-hmm. And to do, an event, or what do you mean?
Or meaning like if there's somebody in a particular area, so say there's somebody living in Logan,
Okay.
and the only person that they know lives in Provo.
Oh, I see.
If there's somebody that's closer that they can go to if they are wanting to.
So kind of like a locational representative?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
That actually does bring me some interesting ideas on that.
If there's like,
So the only issue that I can see with that, and like, I mean, I love the idea, I really do, but I will be absolutely, totally admitting of I'm not the best liaison with stuff like that because I find myself busy very often. So I'm not super available, and it really is kind of a volunteer thing. So like,
Well, that's what I was meaning, like for the people who want to volunteer and
Right.
need to know who to
who to
or
like
what
coordinate with?
Yeah.
We
who to
could.
coordinate with.
I mean, we could make a Google Doc for it. Then we have a spreadsheet of, hey, you want to talk to people? This is where they are. This is who they are. Here's their contact information.
That could be something we put on the Facebook page.
Yeah. Yes.
all right. Any other concerns before we close the meet?
I had a quick couple of them.
Yeah.
The first one is, I'm not going to name names, but I've had quite a few different people tell me that they've felt that they've been harassed about participation. Let me just read what I've got written. I've personally been pressured to accept invites from people to add them as my friend when I don't even know them. I'm not really friends with them. I like to keep things, professional until I'm really close friends with people. And it's just, I feel it's unacceptable to pressure somebody and to question their reasoning as to why they just want to keep, their, you shouldn't be pressured into accepting people's friends, or anything like that. And it went a little further for me that they started questioning my participation, like how do you contribute to the group, and kind of invalidating my own personal participation, and it just felt inappropriate for somebody to be questioning these sorts of things. And then I've had other people come to me who've said they've been hounded about sort of the same sorts of things. Somebody told me that they've been guilt tripped after they told this person who was spamming them, like, hey, come participate. They got kind of attacked for telling them to stop spamming them. And I just think that, there's a level of respect, like, if somebody doesn't want something, just kind of, as members, like, yeah, you can invite people, but don't force it.
I see, but yeah, I see what you're saying. I feel like is this in regards to just like coming to events or things like that?
For me, it came across as they were saying I wasn't doing anything to contribute to the group.
Oh, I see.
And whereas other people, it could be participation only. I just feel like there's no respect being given for that if you're like, well, why not?
You know, I see. Yeah.
I mean, to build off on that, because that's first off inherently messed up. It's just like, dude,
Actually,
we have
can't hear
lives
you.
out. Huh?
I actually can't hear you.
Okay. All right. How's this? Because honestly, here, this is our community, right?
Mm-hmm.
We participate, yes, but we shouldn't have to feel forced or pressured into doing anything we don't want.
Mm-hmm.
We are friends, coworkers, whatever we want to, compatriots. So that being said, that being said, on that end, don't stand up. Tell the people in charge. Our lovely administrators.
Right, and it's like one thing I try to like really kind of promote is like as I said before, you don't have, if it's like, you know, if you're not one of us three, you don't really have to do anything for this group.
Mm-hmm.
You can just stay on.
We don't have to do anything, right?
I guess.
We're not legally bound.
I guess technically, but but it's like you don't really have to do anything. You can just be someone who just wants to see what's going on and just you know. It's like I don't see where it's like.
So my question, I guess, is if I'm having this sort of issue, am I able to bring it to you three as the admins? And I'm all about like discussing things out, but when people start harassing me for whatever reason, I'm going to deal with it in a very official way. So because it's happening through membership.
Right.
Because it would involve technically the group as a whole. If I heard about other people being harassed, or you know, have my own personal experience, am I able to bring this to you three to have, you know, some sort of discussion about it?
Yeah, if it's something like that's an involvement like within the group, then yeah, that's something that's me saying yes, you know, and I guess you agree, Oaken and Tatsu.
Yes.
So
we can have conversations.
Right. It's like we bring it to this. We have these conversations a lot. We'll you know, it's like show us the chats, and you know we'll speak to this person. And again, I said this throughout the like election process that I think of this group as sort of like a gateway. I see it as, you know, you come here to maybe get a taste of what's going on, to make friends, to if you want to go to events, then you know, go to events. You know, it's like, keep in mind, when you're in this group, you're probably going to get a ton of like event requests from, especially if you're like friends with one of us three. You're gonna probably get a whole bunch of like event requests, and it's like, but you don't have to go to any of those. You can say no to all
That's not quite what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like somebody going to that person specifically and saying, hey, did you see this? Did you see this on multiple platforms?
Okay.
And being harassed, and then when they told them off, you know, they, you know.
Right,
back.
and you know, harassment's harassment. Okay. Flat out, it doesn't, harassment's harassment. If it's like, it doesn't matter, I guess, what the topic is. If they're constantly bugging you about it, that is, you know, that's harassment. Mm-hmm. You know?
And then my other thing was just something that came up earlier regarding the Telegram chat I saw, was there was a civil discussion going on about different people's beliefs, but it was told to be shut down, taken somewhere else. And I'm just wondering, if it's civil, why shouldn't it be allowed?
Was this, which Telegram chat was this on?
Utah Furries.
Was it the Utah Furries?
I'm just wondering, like, there's never been an issue with, you know, why anybody's opinion can be allowed as long as you're presenting it civilly, not attacking another person for their opinion. Is there some rule at this point that now this can't be talked about?
I think the first thing on that one, that's not our jurisdiction.
Right. First, well, just to say, but I'm just like, if this were a situation, say, that gets brought up onto, say, like, if this were something that were, say, on the Facebook page, I say this: freedom is a double-sided blade. You have the freedom. You have the freedom to say. You have the freedom to say what your religious beliefs are, but that also means that everyone else has the freedom to comment on it. They have the freedom to they have the freedom to put in their say.
So is it appropriate to shut down such discussions if it's still remaining civil?
If it's still remaining civil, I see no problem. If it gets to the point, of course, if we see something like that, we'll closely monitor it and say this could potentially get bad. But if it stays civil, I honestly see no problem on it. I'm all about, especially when it comes to something like religion. I love religious, I love talking about religion, because I'll say it right now, because I don't believe in anything. I don't believe in anything, so I love hearing what things.
So discourse and discussion.
Right, I love that kind of thing. So yeah.
Define civil.
Civil.
Civil, as in, I actually wrote that down as courteous and polite.
Okay, I mean, the big issue on that end, and this is speaking from my perspective, where I have ran some groups like this. How do we monitor what is considered a civil tone? What is considered a civil words under such a text format?
If you're saying something like, you're stupid, that's clearly not civil.
Well, yes, but at the same time, what is the point where it is now is and isn't?
I would say if you're not personally attacking somebody, if you're using PG language, if you're using good language to start with, it's considered still civil. If you're not personally attacking somebody, it kind of goes back to sort of the ideas of debates. Because it kind of if you've ever been in a situation where you're in a debate, there's certain facets and certain points. I've never done debating. I've only kind of heard about this. But it goes along the lines of if you don't go into if you're only talking about the subject and you're not talking about the person if you're not talking about the person who is giving the subject and remaining in the subject itself, that is what I consider sort of a civil discussion.
Yeah.
Do you have?
Yeah, the only point I'm going to make, kind of going along with what you asked, we live in a state of varying different degrees of ideas, philosophies, and many things. And I feel the biggest point that I believe that you were trying to get at is a matter of respect. Yes, I don't agree with everyone's opinions on certain things. Yes, you don't agree with certain opinions on other people's things, or what I agree with. But the level that you go into a conversation to say, I understand I do not agree, but I will respect your opinion, and I will respect your views, but I'm still curious about those views and want to see what I can do about understanding those views, or even maybe trying to do that in a civil, like she said, civil and respectable manner, as to not inherently start an argument, but to forward a conversation about said subject.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can continue to do that, and that subject is going forward in a civil, respectable manner, then there should be no issue, in my opinion, with talking about those things. Now, when that obviously gets out of hand and people start flaming and that respect goes away, regardless of whether you're religious or whatever it is, respect goes both ways. And the person who destroys that respect is the one who's at fault. And I'm trying not to get too deep into this, but
yeah, there's a difference between having a discussion and starting a fight.
That's correct. And so that's what it is. So I feel that it is fine with having that, as long as there is respect on both sides. And once that respect is gone, regardless of whose side is done, the conversation is over.
So I guess my total question at the point is there a rule that we can't have discussions that are possibly something that could turn into that? Or do we at least trust people to, you know, see where it goes?
That's not in. I have not seen that in the rules. I've looked through the rules and I've seen nothing that says, you know, you can't have that kind of a discussion as long as you keep it civil, as long as you don't start attacking people for whatever reason. But it's like, again, you have to face the facts of, if you have the freedom to say what you want, people have the freedom to comment back.
Exactly.
You know, you may not like that comment, but they have the freedom to make those comments. You know, as long as they're civil. Anything you'd like to add to that? Because I know that can be sort of like a very sticky topic.
Was that at me or him? I was
Just
looking.
both of you.
Okay. I personally, I mean, unless things start getting, as was talked about for literally the last 5 minutes, unless things get inflammatory, I don't think that healthy discussion should be shut down regardless of the topic. Regardless of the topic, okay? And I very much stand by that. If you wanted to go hyperbole to hell and back again, if you want to debate to me that Hitler was not a bad person, I will debate with you. I will crush you, but I will debate with you. But I don't think it should be shut down as long as as long as we don't start, crushing people.
Again, it's like, and again, if a topic like that comes up, we will monitor it. We will heavily monitor it, but we will. We'll just kind of.
And specifically in our space.
Right. And specifically our
in
space.
Other spaces where we don't have jurisdiction.
But in the fact of in the Utah First Telegram, that's not our space. So there's not really anything we can do about that.
And to follow up on that, I've had discussions with Dottis about being more explicit in what's allowed and what's not, because I think in that chat the moderators we're not all aligned on that topic, and so I've asked for that, but maybe he doesn't care. I don't know.
Okay.
I get no response back from him on that.
Okay. And that's about all I can think of at the top of my head.
Okay. And anyone else? All right. Shall we close it?
Give me just a sec. Give people time to reply.
Oh, okay.
I asked if
On
there were
Discord,
further
right,
topics.
okay.
Yep.
Storytime garbage can.
Storytime garbage can? What? All right, garbage can. Tell us your story.
No, that's the place where all the fanfics go.
All right. I haven't had a response for about a minute here in the chat. So if anybody has any further topics, always feel free to go ahead and submit them through the quarterly suggestions form. Something's going on over there. Go ahead and submit those, and we will definitely talk about them in November. Next quarterly. Ooh, hey, before we close out, what date do we want to hard set the November quarterly for?
Not Thanksgiving.
Oh, come on. Nobody wants to meet up on the 24th?
No. You know what? Great idea. Perfect. I'm sure we're going to get a bunch of people.
25th. That'd be my birthday.
Hey, hot damn and a half. That's Thanksgiving weekend, though. That'd be awful.
So,
your birthday's awful.
Yeah.
I bet you're one of those kids that got Christmas and birthday presents, aren't you?
Yes.
I am so sorry. Your family's sheepish.
Well, no, that wasn't. Keep in mind, that wasn't my close family. That wasn't like my mom and dad. That was just
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That
All
was
right, fair
people.
enough.
That was other people.
Do you want to set it before the weekend, or do you want?
I think that we would lose viewership if we set it before the weekend. We could even do it. We can't. Oh God.
I know. This is like what events are we gonna conflict with?
Thanksgiving. I mean, November is too.
We've got the 18th, and then those would be when the events are on the 4th and the 11th.
Yep. So we've got the 18th pretty much. So let's set it for that.
Okay.
Damn it! Another D&D day. Us buckets. Okay, so officially, for those still listening, next quarterly is going to be the 18th of November. It'll be up on the Google Calendar here shortly and be up on Facebook and Meetup further after that. And I could probably just book... I don't know, how do you guys like this space compared to the other spaces we've been in?
This is my first time. I don't mind it.
I like libraries. They're nice.
Libraries are nice. They're free. I have a library card, so they let me do things here in this room.
It's clean and quiet.
I didn't notice that. We could have used that. Ah.
You missed.
So I can probably, I don't know, I'll go check with the people outside and see if we can just schedule this space for November 18th. Thank you.
I know with the downtown library.
I hate the downtown library.
Too, but you can, and I don't know if the county libraries do, but you can actually book them out 6 months in advance.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask was the limits, and if I could just set it up here. Otherwise, I can just go online because they have this really nifty form that's actually really well organized, and the only, this isn't even really a downside because library cards are free, but you need a library card to sign into it. But yeah, which, hey, if you want to rent this space, claim this space, just go get a library card and sign up on their website. Ta-da!
The one over in Sugar House is really nice though too.
Which one? Oh, Sprague? I've never been in their
I
meeting
don't
room.
know if it's.
Sprague is currently not open. They're doing maintenance.
Ah!
It's a different one that's got like a rec center attached to it.
Oh, that's Mill Creek.
Mill Creek.
Oh, no.
So, I went and checked out Mill Creek space a little while ago when I was doing my first search on all of these for which one would be best. To be honest, I prefer Hunter or Draper, but that's really far that way. There's another one a little bit north. I can't remember which one it is, but they had little to no meeting space. And the only one that's really off limits is West Jordan because they don't have a meeting room. They have their convention hall, and then they have a 6-person study room. Which I'm sure we could all cram into there, right?
Oh, yeah.
It'd be great for recording.
No thanks.
You don't want to be all close and huggy with everyone?
I don't
I'm
mind
good.
being
I'm
close to people,
down.
But at the same time, it's.
As we say, we've all turned, no matter what we got, we're all now sardines.
There's some personal space, and it takes time to at least look this out.
Yeah, I tried to type that wrong. Absolutely wrong.
Your keyboard truly is mesmerizing.
I love my keyboard. If anybody wants to come up and look at the rainbow keyboard, who's in the room right
Did you know
now.
that they actually came out with a...
Goodbye, everybody. I'm closing the voice chat now. Have a good day. Okay, we're off air.
Did you know that the
Yeah.
Razer made the wrist rest?
My keyboard does that too.
Oh, is this a chroma you're playing with?
Yes.
It's not working.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. It was.
Oh, no. Oh, my keyboard came unplugged. It came unplugged. Everything's fine.
I need that.
My keyboard does that too.
I love it so much. It's my favorite.
Next time, we need to start with some opening ASMR.
Scare everybody away.
I probably could be very good at ASMR.
You probably could be. Your voice is deep and just.
I love how you're trying to do like a deep voice.
Yeah, we're gonna start doing quarterly ASMR meets.
Quarterly ASMR meets. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the quarterly ASMR meets. Here we're going to talk about our feelings.
You gotta eat it a little more though.
I can't eat that. It's too big. Yeah, just. Yeah.
So we all done that?
Yep, that's it.
So what do we do now? Just
Whatever you want. There's meat going up on in Logan for those who want to make the trek up there.
Oh,
Good luck getting there.
Yep. Well, it technically, so it's they're going to a park at 4 and they're going to food at 5. So there's plenty of time to get up there, actually.
Yeah.